Go.
That's some pressure. And today is day one officially. So out of the gate, I want to thank you and this community. It's tremendous. I'm new to it, but getting to see the LinkedIn posts and the new members being added and seeing it today and being able to experience the glow and just the unbelievable nuggets from Rachel today. I speak on everybody here on the screen. Thank you so much. You're incredible. Sonny, hopefully I'm maybe piggybacking a little bit on Sonny, and thank you everybody for your questions too. They were very, very helpful to get some more nuggets from Rachel. I want to go back to Scott had hinted about it when you were not willing to make that walk and entry onto the stage to try out when you were back in, I don't know if that was grade school or what time in your life that was. Can you take us back to that point? What was going on versus where you are now? And I know there's probably different trigger points during those phases that got you over the hump. And maybe there's one thing or maybe three things that link all of it that might be helpful for us to further understand how you made this incredible leap to go, nope, I'm not going on stage to try out, knowing that you probably would have been the greatest performer, to where you are now that you just sang in front of us.
Thanks. That's such a fascinating question. When I think about who I was and where I was then, it was a performance fear that I had. As if I was going to do anything, I had to do it at an A+ level out of the gate. That was the expectation of myself growing up. A+ out of the gate, or don't try at all. So I just didn't try things I wasn't good at, which is one reason I'm still horrible at volleyball. Because I wouldn't let myself be bad. People say you have to let yourself suck so you can get good at it. I wouldn't even let myself suck because I didn't want to embarrass myself. So I'm don't put me on your volleyball team if we ever do an event with a volleyball net. Or actually maybe make me do it. But so part of it was that I was protecting this image of, I do everything really well at the highest level. And if I'm not sure if I can do something at the highest level, if I think I might go off key, if I think I might be pitchy, if I think somebody might think I don't sound good, that feels like too big of a risk to take to do this. Even though I love doing this thing, it feels like too big of a risk to take. And I did perform in high school, took voice lessons. Voice instructor said, we do a year-end recital. What song are you going to sing? And I said, oh, I'm not. This is just for me. And she said, well, all my students pick a song. I sang Angel by Sarah McLachlan, which is a beautiful, haunting song. Love this song. But when I got up there, let me tell you, there was no joy in that at all. I was so overly focused on what everyone was thinking about me and whether I was going to make a mistake that I did not derive even an ounce of joy from that moment. I actually don't have a memory of singing that song, but I know that I did. And I just recall my jaw being locked and I just couldn't. So when I got to college, I went to a small liberal arts school. We had this gospel choir it wasn't a religious school, but this gospel choir was the concert twice a year, standing room only in the chapel. Everyone went. It was the thing you did on campus. And they were up there in these yellow and green robes, and they were having the time of their life. The time of their life. And when I think about my influences, Amy Grant, Mariah Carey, Desiree, Boyz II Men, gospel roots, and all those people. And I was like, this is my kind of music. And you didn't have to try out. So I joined because you didn't have to try out. And there were 80 people. So I'm like, great. Then the semester abroad from Spain happened in Spain. And then I came back from that and they were doing tryouts for the spring concert. And there was just this thing in me, Dan, that was compelling me to try out. It was I was almost like I would have been trying to do a system override to make myself leave that chapel without trying out. And I waited till everybody left except for the director and the assistant director. And I went up to him and I said, I think I want to try out for a solo. I'd been in the choir for a year and a half at that point. And he wouldn't have known that I even wanted to do that because I had not before. And I went up to the microphone and I closed my eyes, and the rest of that story is going to be in my TED Talk. And I sang, and I got the solo. And I was 20 years old, And it was like every semester thereafter, I tried out again and I got a solo every semester after that. And spring of my senior year, there were a small group of us that were in gospel choir that would go sing together at the chapel on campus and play from its folder of music. And there, at one point, it was just me and this one guy that were left as the only ones that were playing and singing. He would play, I would sing. And we would play for hours. And he was a sophomore, I was a senior, I was about to graduate. And it was the music that connected us. And this month, we're celebrating 17 years of being together, 12 years married in August. And so when I think about, as Scott said, it's not just you that's affected when you mute yourself or silence yourself. Like, I don't know if I would have ended up with my husband if I hadn't found the courage to use my voice. So now it's not a choice for me, really. It feels like this is just something I have to do. I get to, but I've been given this to use it. And I even went back to my high school 2 months ago to the auditorium where I would not sing when I went there. And we played the backtrack of my song, and I stood on that stage and I sang Somebody to 700 high school students. And it was this full circle moment of like, we can do so much more than we are capable of if we're willing to step out in courage when we're scared, and to be patient with it. I was patient with myself. It happened in the time that it happened, in the way that it happened, in just the right way, in just the right time. And that's how that happened. Is that helpful?